In a world where the crowd drowns in the desperate race for appearances, the silent wealth builders are the true warriors. Financial success is not born from impulsive leaps, flashy displays, or gambling on momentary victories. True success is forged through cold, deliberate systems, relentless perseverance in solitude, ruthless elimination of foolish habits, and an unshakable belief that freedom must be seized, not begged for. If you are ready to step out of the crowd, abandon the glittering illusions, and quietly build an empire in silence, this analysis is your weapon. The battlefield of wealth is silent, brutal, and reserved for the few who dare to go against everything the world praises. Now, let's embark on the financial rebirth journey, where solitude is the reward and true freedom is the only crown worth fighting for. Modern society does not encourage real wealth. It glorifies organized, foolish spending. People cheer for 36-month car loans, celebrate debt-funded vacations, and admire luxury purchases made on credit cards. Meanwhile, those who quietly save, invest, and build assets are branded as stingy or missing out on life. This is not a coincidence. It is how the system keeps financial slaves trapped forever. If you are mocked for living modestly, understand this. You are silently building a fortress while the crowd drowns in illusions. Real wealth is invisible at first. Only fools need to be seen winning. True winners build without applause. True financial success is too boring to be posted on social media. No one shares a photo of their savings account growing by 5%. No one flaunts their boring monthly investment contributions. Society celebrates the flashy pretenders, not the quiet builders. If you choose to appear ordinary today to secure extraordinary wealth tomorrow, you are far ahead of a crowd drowning in debt. The world doesn't reward discipline in the short term, but in the long term, it brutally exposes the difference. Wealth is never loud. Poverty is. Your silent progress is louder than 1,000 empty boasts. If the show-offs make you feel slow, smile. When the lights dim, it is their mountains of debt that will remain, not their borrowed glories. Meanwhile, you, the patient accumulator, will possess something no flashiness can fake: freedom. True financial revolution starts by daring to move against the tide. If you are mocked today for living below your means, celebrate. You are building a castle in silence that most of them will never even set foot in. Real wealth is the art of being underestimated until it is far too late for anyone else to catch up. Most people live by hoping things will get better, instead of engineering a bulletproof system. If you have already set up an automated system to handle income, expenses, savings, and investments each month, you no longer belong to the majority of failures. A system, even a simple one, is infinitely stronger than impulsive actions and emotional spending. Financial success doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from executing the right behaviors over and over without thinking. If your financial moves are systematic instead of emotional, you're already playing in a league most people will never even understand. People often judge success by flashy breakthroughs. But the brutal truth is this: 95% of extraordinary success stories were built on boring systems, working quietly for years. A tight budget, an automated savings plan, and a disciplined investment schedule will beat spontaneous living every single time. You don't need $1 million income, you need $1 million system. That's the quiet difference between loud talkers and real wealth builders. Systems do not care about moods, excuses, or external chaos. They execute ruthlessly, building wealth piece by piece while the emotional gamblers burn through their fleeting good luck. If you can point to a cash flow plan, a recurring investment schedule, and a growing emergency fund, you are already winning. Even if your bank account isn't yet glamorous, building a personal financial system is an act of rebellion against the culture of blind consumerism. Stop looking for miracles. Build systems. Then, while the world scrambles for quick dopamine hits, you will be the one silently constructing a financial fortress too solid to be shaken. Winners don't improvise their freedom. They automate it long before anyone notices. The financial market is a brutal psychological battleground where the weak lose before the fight even begins. When the market rises, the crowd rushes in like moths to a flame, convinced that wealth is calling them. When the market falls, they flee in terror, selling everything at a loss. True winners are unmoved by green or red screens. They invest like brushing their teeth, consistently, without fanfare, without seeking thrills. Investing through fear and boredom is not glamorous. It is a ruthless privilege reserved for those who refuse to let emotions dictate their future. If you are investing consistently, whether the market bleeds or stagnates, you are already leagues ahead of humanity. Smart investing isn't about perfect timing. It's about being there long enough. Most people destroy their own wealth because they can't endure the boredom, frustration, or fear that inevitably comes. True players buy when others cry and stay calm when others panic. The market rewards those who stay rooted while everyone else loses their nerve. Whoever builds emotional resilience wins. It's not the smartest who win. It's the ones who can breathe through chaos and still move forward methodically. When you turn investing into an automatic reflex, you plant a financial time bomb for your future wealth. The flashy portfolios flaunted today could be wiped out tomorrow. Meanwhile, the quiet, consistent investors are laying the foundations of unstoppable empires. Don't seek excitement in investing, seek boring consistency. That boredom is not a flaw, it's a secret weapon. Boring, methodical investing is financial immortality. While others burn through trends, you are quietly building indestructible freedom. Remember, the flashiest players rarely survive. The quiet compounding soldiers always do. The brutal truth is that most people panic the moment they face any financial disruption. A single unexpected $1,000 bill can wreck their sleep, break their spirit, and send them spiraling. But if you can welcome financial storms with calmness, you have entered a different league. Financial composure does not come from earning more. It comes from preparation and taking full control of your financial future. If you can remain grounded when others are losing their heads, your wealth journey is already leagues ahead of the noisy crowd. Calmness under fire is the real currency of financial survival. Calmness is the most dangerous weapon in financial warfare. When markets crash, the weak run blind. When surprises strike, the unprepared sell their future to buy momentary relief. But if you sit still, trusting your system and your discipline, you have already won while others panic. Your calmness doesn't just protect your wallet, it builds an unshakable character that no paycheck or economic cycle can ever destroy. In a world drowning in emotional knee-jerk reactions, true composure is a superpower. The players who stay calm through chaos are the ones who inherit the real prizes when the dust settles. If you can remain resilient during your worst days without breaking when facing layoffs, accidents, or financial downturns, you are achieving a victory more profound than any shallow success story out there. Because when the storms come, the fake wealth will wash away, but the solid foundations will endure. Calmness is not a luxury, it's a survival skill. It's the unspoken mark of a true financial champion. Those who understand money is a tool, not a savior, are the ones who will stand tall when the fragile castles built on vanity crumble into dust. The greatest financial stupidity is trying to look rich before actually becoming rich. Those who chase luxury cars, watches, and the latest gadgets are unknowingly marrying debt for life. If you have rejected the race for appearances and instead quietly accumulate stocks, real estate, or investment funds, you are doing what 95% of people are too impatient to do. Assets create freedom. Flashiness buys fleeting approval. Building assets may not earn you applause today. But one day, when the crowd drowns in debt, you will own something they cannot fake: control, stability, and true power over your destiny. The harsh truth is that society admires the illusion of wealth, but ignores those who silently build it for real. If you sometimes feel left behind because you lack the latest luxury, smile. You are not falling behind. You are moving silently toward true power. The road to financial freedom is not crowded. It is silent, boring, and brutally lonely. There are no awards for missing out on trendy gadgets, but there are rewards, massive ones, for those who plant seeds today that others will envy tomorrow. Choose the invisible wealth path. It always wins in the end. If you are investing in assets instead of wasting money on trends, you are already winning. No one will throw a party when you max out your retirement account. No one will cheer when you quietly buy more index funds instead of a designer handbag. But the silence you endure today will turn into the roar of true freedom tomorrow. Real wealth doesn't come from impressing strangers. It comes from relentless asset stacking while others waste fortunes trying to be seen. Remember, trophies fade. True financial power is invisible at first and unstoppable later. Money is not a destination, it is only a tool. The failures worship money like a god, trading their freedom and dignity for meaningless numbers. The winners understand money must be controlled, not idolized. If you are using money to buy more time, more options, and more future freedom, you are far ahead of the crowd addicted to material validation. Money exists to serve you, not the other way around. If you view each dollar as a soldier to build your empire rather than a toy for instant gratification, you are already operating in a league few dare enter. Instead of flaunting a paycheck, true winners quietly use money to buy back their lives. They don't spend to prove their worth to outsiders. They spend to create a life where they never have to ask permission. If you treat every dollar spent as a brick laid toward freedom instead of a ticket to temporary applause, you are playing the financial game on a level most people will never even glimpse. Freedom is not bought with fancy things. It is bought with deliberate, strategic control over money, treating it as the servant, not the master. Always remember, money is like a hammer. If you know how to use it, you can build an empire. If you don't, you will smash your own future with clumsy hands. True financial champions are not those who have the most money. They are those who use money with the sharpest precision. If you have shifted from showing money to using money to build freedom, congratulations. You have exited the hamster wheel of consumer slavery. You have stepped onto the battlefield where real power is earned, not gifted, and where silence speaks louder than bragging ever will. The difference between the winners and the losers isn't who moves faster. It's who refuses to stop. Financial momentum is the silent but ruthless weapon. When you consistently save, invest, and make smart decisions month after month, you are pushing a massive flywheel. At first, it's heavy, slow, and seems pointless. But once it starts spinning, the inertia becomes unstoppable. Most people will never experience this power because they quit before the momentum kicks in. If you are building your system piece by piece, trusting the boring grind, you are constructing a financial force that no storm can break. Most of the world falls into the trap of demanding immediate results. They abandon saving after 3 months. They sell off investments after 6 months of boredom. Momentum is not for the impatient. It demands blind faith in repeated correct actions, even when no reward seems near. If you are still contributing steadily, even when the results seem microscopic, you are building a machine that will crush every quitter around you. Financial momentum rewards those who respect time. It punishes those who chase dopamine. Real wealth isn't sexy at the start. It's built invisibly, grinding day after day. Financial momentum doesn't just build money, it redefines you. When you get used to making disciplined decisions daily, you stop being a victim of emotions and start becoming a force of nature. A living, breathing financial machine. A warrior who keeps moving forward even when economic hurricanes try to tear everything down. If you feel like your progress is slow, remember, speed isn't your enemy. Lack of momentum is. Keep pushing, keep stacking. Because when the wheel finally spins at full force, no setback, no crash, and no distraction will ever be able to stop you. The road to financial freedom isn't paved with spotlights or applause. It's a lonely, brutal path where no one cheers when you choose to invest instead of party, save instead of splurge. The crowd will mock you for not living your best life. But the brutal truth is, those living for today are mortgaging their future for pennies. If you are willing to endure today's isolation, tomorrow's freedom will be yours. Solitude is not punishment. It's the filter that separates those destined for mediocrity from those determined to build an unbreakable empire, silently and ruthlessly. Perseverance in solitude is a trial few are strong enough to survive. When you save instead of showing off, when you invest instead of indulging, you don't get praise. You get doubt, sometimes even ridicule. And that is the sign you are on the right path. The world does not reward those who follow the herd. It saves its true prizes for those who plant seeds unseen, trusting that the harvest will one day explode into undeniable proof. If you can withstand being invisible, being mocked, and being underestimated, you are quietly winning battles the crowd can't even see. If you feel lonely today on your financial journey, do not despair. It's a sign you're on sacred ground few have ever walked. Isolation does not kill you, it forges you. It transforms you from a dreamer into a disciplined warrior. True financial freedom is not for the weak, the impulsive, or the fame-hungry. It belongs to those who endure the deafening silence and still choose to build. When the noise fades and the dust settles, only the silent builders will still be standing, wealthier, freer, and far stronger than they ever dared to dream. No one stays poor because of a lack of opportunity. They stay poor because they refuse to kill the foolish habits destroying them from within. Borrowing money to buy liabilities, investing based on rumors, spending based on emotions. These actions don't just ruin your finances, they rot your belief in yourself. If you want financial freedom, you cannot negotiate with stupidity. You must be ruthless, as a warrior is ruthless on the battlefield. One foolish decision can delay your freedom by a decade. Winners don't flirt with bad habits. They crush them before they can ever grow roots. Every time you spend $500 chasing a trend, you're not just losing money. You're losing the invisible financial power you were meant to stack. Financial warriors never blame the economy, the government, or bad luck. They stare straight into their own bad decisions and obliterate them. If you are correcting yourself daily, eliminating foolish financial habits piece by piece, you are fighting for your freedom with the most powerful weapon available: radical self-responsibility. The war is not outside you, the war is within you. And if you win that battle, no market crash or crisis can ever defeat you. The world owes you nothing. Money owes you no mercy. If you live foolishly, financial reality will crush you without hesitation. If you live intelligently, financial reality will reward you with unstoppable freedom. The difference between the winners and the losers boils down to this: winners live by smart habits. Losers die by foolish ones. If you want to create unstoppable wealth, you must be ruthless with your ignorance. Crush it daily, replace it with wisdom. Financial success isn't about luck. It's about waging a silent, daily war against every impulse that tries to sabotage your destiny. Financial freedom is not a prize handed to those who wish for it. It is a crown earned by those willing to endure mockery, isolation, and sacrifices the masses would never accept. No one grants you freedom. You seize it through blood, sweat, and unwavering discipline. If you are moving against the consumerist tide, rejecting fleeting pleasures to quietly stack real assets, congratulations. You are nearing a kingdom few even know exists. Freedom is not won through applause or approval. It is forged in silence by warriors who refuse to beg for scraps and instead build their own empire. The cost of freedom is paid in the years you quietly plant seeds, while others chase dopamine. It's paid in every moment you save when others spend. Every time you trust your long-term vision, even when no one else believes in it. The crowd will never understand you. But when the lights dim and the noise fades, only those who built unshakable foundations will remain standing. Freedom does not belong to the fragile or the impatient. It belongs to those who outlast, who outwork, and who refuse to let temporary applause distract them from permanent sovereignty. If today you don't drive a flashy car or post luxury vacations, but you quietly own growing assets, you are already winning in ways no Instagram story can capture. When the dust settles, you will not just survive, you will rule. Financial freedom is not a fantasy for the lucky few. It's a battle for those who choose silent discipline over noisy distractions. Only those who dare to walk alone, to think differently, and to build relentlessly will wear the crown. The future belongs to the builders, the warriors, and the silent revolutionaries of wealth. You do not need the world's permission to win financially. You only need a bulletproof system, relentless discipline, and ruthless elimination of every foolish temptation dragging the masses down. Freedom is not for the weak-hearted or the dreamers. It is for those willing to endure solitude, build in silence, and fight daily battles against mediocrity. When the applause dies and the illusions crumble, only the silent builders will remain. Your patience today is your weapon. Your consistency is your armor. Your resilience is your crown. If you recognize yourself in this journey, rejoice. You are no longer chasing wealth like the crowd. You are becoming the very force that money itself cannot resist. And the victory is inevitable.